So 2 months ago, I made a video of how I was done buying Tesla stock. I have close to 1,000 shares, like very close to 1,000 shares now, and I've been done buying. Yes, I bought a couple here and there when the stock, went down like 5-7% at those dip days. I would buy 1 or 2 shares. If you guys follow me on X, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the big purchases, like, the $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 inside the stock one time. I was done doing that. But now, looking how things are going in the market, I'm preparing to do the exact same thing if this happens, because what's shaping up to happen is a one-time opportunity. I will call it a flash crash. Obviously, none of this financial advice, but what's shaping up to happen, it's something like this. And only if this happens, I will do it. So that's why I'm preparing to buy more. So let's get down to this video. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go, because we got some interesting things to go over that justifies this. All right, let's go. So the Fed came out last week and said that, hey, we have to adjust. It's time to adjust. We have to cut interest rates now. They pretty much confirmed that they're going to cut in September. I think it's like 80-90% chance now they're going to cut most likely a 0.5%. Now, most of you guys will go like 0.5% is nothing. We're at 5% right now, 5.5%. We have to come down to the 2% or even 3% or even less than 2%. Well, here's the thing. If it goes down that fast, that is not good. That is a big recession. If they can continue to gradually cut slowly, month by month, that indicates we're not going to get a big drop in stocks, in real estate, or the whole entire market. It'll just be a nice gradual cut, not affecting unemployment rates, inflation continue going down, a soft landing, which I got to give it to the Fed. If they can pull this off, and it looks like they are going to be pulling this off, that's a bravo. That is like pretty much guaranteeing a bull market before any crash. And if this happens, I will not be buying Tesla stock because it's not going to crash. What I'm looking forward is the big crash, or that big fear crash, which all ties down to the labor market, the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate has been going up slowly. But here's the thing, history has showed us that unemployment rate, given the environment, if it's bad, it's going to be an exponential growth. It happens really, really quickly, and the whole market panics, and that's where we get that recession. That's where we get the interest rates being cut massively. Think 2020, where we had that massive crash because everyone had to shut down everything because there was a corona thing. Unemployment surged out of, like, it was an overnight thing. It was crazy. Or even 2008. I think 2008 is more relatable because there was no pandemic or anything like that. But in 2008, all of a sudden, everything started crashing, unemployment went up. This all happened very fast and quickly. It's like throwing a match in a dry forest. It's gonna catch on really, really fast, and putting it out takes a lot of effort and time. So what the Fed is doing now is that they're closely watching the data. They're gonna see the data coming out next month in September to see what the unemployment rate is going to be. Is it going faster? Is it steadying? Is it actually going lower? If the data comes better than expected, I don't think they're going to cut. And I think they'll just delay it. Or if they are going to cut, it's going to be a very gradual of like, a quarter percentage, 0.25%. I think that's what they will do. But if they don't see the data being that bad, they will not cut. Now, here's the thing. I think we will have a month now, whether it's September, October, November, one of these months, that unemployment rate is just going to continue just to go up higher and higher. Because look, inflation is done, right? We're below 3%. We're at 2.9%, and it's projected to go lower and lower. So that is finished. We can see consumer spending slowing down, although Walmart did come out and say that it's better than expected. But interest rates are still high. They're very high. So I do expect consumer spending to damper down. And this is a cycle, right? If the consumers stop spending, well, they're going to stop spending in companies, so they have to let go of employees to stay afloat, to make that margin, to keep that margin. So I do think we may see more unemployment as we keep going for the next couple months, and there will be 1 month where it shows really bad data, like worse than expected, and they have to cut interest rates even further and just aggressive. Now, here's the thing. Again, once the Fed cuts interest rates aggressively, you guys want to listen to this. That's when we're going to get the crash in the market. Time and time again, history has showed us that when interest rates get cut massively, we are going to be in a recession, or we already are in a bad recession. And when that happens, stocks goes on sale, market goes on sale, real estate goes on sale. Here in Toronto, man, I see every other home going for sale. It's not good here. In Toronto, it's not good, and Canada has been cutting interest rates, I think, twice now, and they're going to continue doing it more aggressively and faster every single month that goes, because it's not looking good here. We don't have 30-year mortgage rate fixed like the US does. We have 5 years, and that 5 year is ending, or that 5 years ending next month or next year. And so if people can't afford to pay their mortgages, there's going to be a massive crash here. So they are going to be cutting interest rates here aggressively. And it's funny because the US does mirror Canada when it comes to interest rates. Whether it was increasing it or cutting it, I find that pretty darn interesting. But nonetheless, I am waiting for that 1 month of unemployment bad data, which just shows worse than expected, and the market's going to panic. There's going to be fear and blood in the streets, and we're going to see interest rates coming down faster than anyone thought. And here's the thing, guys. The companies that went down, the stocks that went down because of interest rates going up, the opposite will happen when interest rates go down. Now, not right away. When interest rates do go down massively, the whole market will get a sell-off. But once the panic and fear is done and over with, we're going to have one of the greatest bull runs in history. Wells Fargo has confirmed this, and they have said this, saying that stocks will embark on a run of gains unseen in 30 years after Fed rate cuts. It's going to be insane. And companies like Tesla and other companies that had a massive sell-off because of interest rates will have a massive run-up, because now Tesla can increase their prices. The leasing and financing is going to become cheaper, so they have to increase their prices to match what it was before. And you guys know the story. I've talked about this so many times on this channel, how that's going to be crazy. And on top of that, you got like the energy coming in, you got the FSD, robotaxi. Oh my God, I just went on the full self-driving thing yesterday with my brother and my niece and nephew. It was incredible. I'll have to make a separate video on that. That was... wow. I can't believe Tesla stock is still below 1 trillion in the market cap. It's just incredible how it's insane. I just can't believe it. But nonetheless, going back to this, what am I planning? This is my plan right here, guys. There may be a sudden surge in unemployment rate because, again, this happens fast. Again, it's like lighting a match in a dry forest. It starts small, but then before you know it, it's the whole freaking forest. It's going to be bad. It's going to be crazy. And when this happens, the Fed has to cut rates fast because there's going to be fear. There's going to be panic. The stock is going to crash. Stocks are going to crash. The market is going to crash. Real estate is going to crash. And I do believe this will be contained fast. I'm not talking about this going to last for a year, because there's no reason to be in a recession for years. This is going to be like a few months thing. It's going to be, again, a flash crash that will last for like a few months or so. Again, this is all my opinion based on the market that I've been for more than a decade now. This is what I see happening. The most likely scenario in my opinion. Now, look, when this happens, there's going to be a window of opportunity to capitalize on cheaper stocks, real estate, and anything else that's an asset, really, because the fear is there, the panic is there. It's not until the fear and panic leaves, and then they realize that, wait a minute, now interest rates are low, money's cheap again, now the economy is looking pretty good to go forward. Then they're going to start coming in and buying those cheap assets. You got to get in before then, and getting in before then is where all the fear and panic is. Think 2020, when the whole market crashed. You got to think that, right? But this, I think, will be faster than that, because there's more clarity than back then. Back then was just like shutting down everything, and it was just ridiculous. But today, there's more clarity. Now, this window is the golden opportunity until fear subsides, and this is what I'm getting ready for. Now, again, if this happens, I don't know if this will happen or not, but I'm giving this a 60% chance of happening. And that's why I've been collecting cash and waiting. For crying out loud, Warren Buffett is holding $300 billion in cash, waiting for something like this, I believe. I mean, he is just waiting. He's just waiting. It's like, okay, he sold 50% of his Apple stake, which is insane. And he's just sitting on $300 billion of cash, waiting and seeing what's going to happen for the next, now until the end of the year. Whether they actually pulled off a soft landing or they don't. Either way, I think there will be a crash sometime soon, and that's what I'm getting ready for. And I think that's what Warren Buffett is waiting for as well. Not to mention, we have $6 trillion in cash sitting out in the sidelines. $6 trillion. That's insane, which I do think that once we do have this crash and interest rates are low, equities are less riskier. I think the majority of that $6 trillion is going to be piled into the market, and we're going to see a massive run-up in stocks, mainly stocks. Now, we have real estate and other things as well, but mainly stocks, And that's what I'm gonna be capitalizing on Tesla, because Tesla is gonna be one of those stocks that's gonna run up so fast, so quick, especially once we get the robotaxi over with and we get so many other things come to light. It's going to be one of the companies that's going to roar up the most. Think Nvidia, think Meta recently. So that's why I'm getting ready to buy more Tesla stock if this happens. And if it doesn't, then I'll continue to do my, 1 or 2 shares every other week or so. But nonetheless, that's what I'm getting ready for. And are you guys getting ready for this as well? I don't know. Or are you guys continuing to dollar cost average into your stocks? Doesn't have to be just Tesla, there's other stocks as well. Because I'm not going to lie, that is the best strategy. But nonetheless, though, that's my plan when it comes to Tesla stock and why I'm getting ready to buy again if this happens. But here's the thing, guys. Tesla stock is getting ready to hit 300 bucks. I think before end of this year. I really do. And if all these things happen and interest rates cut happen, everything, it's an easy 300 in my opinion. Not financial advice. You guys can check the video here. Subscribe, guys, and get your About the Dip t-shirt. And I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.